What if the doorway to your next level of reality has been sitting quietly in the middle of your chest this entire time, unnoticed, unactivated, and completely underestimated? We're told to chase enlightenment by thinking harder, meditating longer, or escaping the body altogether. But what if the real secret to transcendence isn't about leaving anything, it's about fully coming home? And not just to yourself, but to the hidden point of light inside your heart chakra that's been waiting to wake up. This isn't just another self-help idea wrapped in pretty words. I'm talking about energy activation that's physical, emotional, and deeply spiritual, the kind that shifts your frequency, recodes your presence, and quietly begins constructing your light body from the inside out. The kind that makes your entire experience of matter feel lighter. And here's the kicker, it doesn't take years. It starts the moment you realize you've been searching for something that's already inside you. If you're ready to access the place within that transforms everything around, then keep watching, because what you're about to learn could rewire how you experience your own existence. There's a place inside your chest most people never notice, not because it's hard to find, but because it's buried beneath everything we're taught to ignore. It's not the physical heart. It's deeper, quiet, but undeniably real. This is where the heart chakra whispers instead of shouts. Within it, a subtle point of awareness pulses like a hidden star, waiting. Some call it intuition, others say it's the soul's voice. But truly, it's the hidden point of light, and when it activates, everything changes. Think of it like the ember in a dying fire. It's not out, just hidden beneath the ash of emotional debris and unresolved wounds. This spark is pure consciousness. It doesn't yell for your attention, it waits patiently behind every laugh, every heartbreak, every moment you forgot to breathe. When you start to feel that quiet nudge in your chest, like something wants to wake up, that's the start of energy activation. Now, this isn't some mystical fantasy or new age fluff. Ancient mystics knew this point well. They mapped it through breath, devotion, and awareness. The Egyptians depicted it in symbols, the yogis called it anahata, and modern seekers feel it as a pull inward, a gravitational center of the self. When that center stirs, it doesn't just wake you up spiritually. It begins building the light body, the subtle architecture of your higher state of being. And here's the kicker, most people walk around completely unaware that this portal even exists. Not because they're blind, but because they've never been shown how to look. It's like living next to a lighthouse your whole life and never noticing the beam. But once that light flickers, even once, it leaves a trail you can't unsee. That's when the signs of dormancy become unmistakable. So, how do you know if that hidden light's gone dim? It usually starts with a heaviness you can't quite explain. Not depression, necessarily, just a dull, nagging weight in your chest, like your soul's sighing quietly in the background. You might feel emotionally numb, or like you're going through the motions without really being in them. That's the heart chakra trying to get your attention. And if you're honest, you've probably felt this before. There's also that subtle feeling of disconnection, like no matter what you do, something's always missing. People in this state often stop feeling genuine joy in the small things. They might pull away from relationships or avoid stillness altogether. Why? Because the silence reminds them of what they're not hearing, the inner pulse of the light body, the part that's supposed to guide their evolution. But when it's dormant, that guidance goes quiet. Let me give you a real example. I once worked with someone who had everything, success, health, even a spiritual routine. But they confessed they felt hollow, like love never really landed in their chest. They couldn't cry. Couldn't laugh fully. That right there. That's a blocked heart chakra. And until they accessed that hidden point of light, no practice or book filled the gap. Sometimes, it's not sadness that reveals dormancy, it's indifference. You stop caring about your growth. You drift from practices that once lit you up. You might even start questioning whether any of this spiritual stuff matters. But underneath that doubt is something else entirely, a deep, unnameable longing. That's the hidden light calling you back home, and it's also how energy activation begins. It almost always starts small. A breath. A moment of stillness. An emotion you can't hold back anymore. That's how energy activation sneaks in, not like thunder, but like a warm breeze you didn't notice until it moved through your ribs. You sit quietly, hands on your chest, and something stirs, a flutter, a warmth, a pulse you've never truly felt before. That's not imagination. That's the heart chakra beginning to glow. A simple practice that helps. Breathe in slowly, and with your mind, follow that breath right into the center of your chest. No goals. No pressure. Just presence. Over time, you might feel a soft heat or gentle tingling right beneath your sternum. This is how the body says, I remember. Visualizations help too. Imagine a golden light swirling where your heart is, expanding with each inhale. That's the language of the light body waking up. Mantras can also work wonders. Not the mechanical kind, but the ones you feel. Try repeating, I am light. I am open. Not for effect, but for resonance. And sometimes, real energy release only comes after an emotional breakthrough, crying after years of holding it in, laughing until your chest aches, or forgiving someone you thought you never could. These moments crack the armor around the heart chakra, letting light pour in through the wounds. That's the beauty of activation. It doesn't demand perfection, just sincerity. And once that pulse begins, even faintly, you'll start noticing things differently. A stranger's smile hits deeper. Nature feels louder. Your body responds with goosebumps you can't explain. That inner glow. It's the signal. The doorway's opening. And through it, something ancient begins to reassemble itself from the inside out. Here's what most people don't realize: the light body isn't some abstract thing floating around in the ether. It's not a separate version of you, it's you, expanded. It's built from the inside, layer by layer, through conscious energy activation. And it all starts at the core, the heart chakra. When this center opens, your whole frequency changes. It's like switching from static-filled AM radio to crystal-clear surround sound. You'll notice it in your dreams first. They'll become rich, cinematic, almost too real. Intuition sharpens too. You'll say things and not know where they came from, only to realize later, they were exactly right. This isn't coincidence, it's coherence. The heart chakra, once fully awakened, becomes the command center of your subtle evolution. You stop overthinking and start feeling your way through life, and weirdly, everything starts aligning. Take this example: someone who never saw themselves as spiritual begins meditating out of curiosity. One day, they feel this strange warmth in their chest, then start dreaming about symbols they've never studied. Days later, they stumble upon the exact image in a book or online. That's not a fluke. That's the light body responding. Synchronicities, heightened awareness, even shifts in your physical energy, these are signs you're no longer just in the body. And that shift? It's the beginning of something extraordinary. You start realizing you're not reacting like you used to. That people, patterns, and even pain aren't sticking the same way. You feel lighter, clearer, but grounded too. That's because you've tapped into something stable and vast. But here's where things get even more interesting: when the heart leads, even the material world starts to shift. Most people think transcendence means leaving the body, like floating off into some cosmic escape pod. But that's not it at all. Real transcendence is about going so deep into your being that even physical matter starts to feel different. It becomes less like a wall and more like a membrane. You're still here, but your perception stretches beyond the visible. And where does it all begin? Yep, the heart chakra. See, when you're locked in fear or survival mode, everything feels heavy and reactive. You respond from old wounds, not present awareness. But once the energy activation begins in your chest, you shift. You begin to respond, not react. You listen before speaking. You breathe instead of bracing. That's not just emotional intelligence, that's your light body taking the wheel, integrating wisdom right into your human experience. It's like the difference between watching a storm through the window versus standing in the middle of it. Same storm, different impact. People who operate from the awakened heart move through life with a kind of stillness. Not passive, just rooted. Emotional pain that once felt like it would consume them, it softens. Why? Because their energy isn't stuck, it's flowing. And in that flow, even the body aligns. Here's where it gets wild: the more you live from the heart, the more you sync with something much bigger. Call it the quantum field, divine intelligence, or source, doesn't matter. What matters is that your reality bends differently. Choices become clearer. Life begins to feel like it's responding to you, not just happening at you. And once you taste that level of clarity, you'll want to learn how to keep it going daily. You don't need to climb a mountain or chant in a cave to awaken the heart chakra. In fact, the most powerful shifts happen in your everyday moments, if you know how to work with them. Start with this: sit quietly, place your hand over your heart, and visualize a golden or emerald light glowing right beneath your palm. Breathe into it. Let that light expand. That simple daily act is like watering a sacred seed, it sparks steady energy activation. Another great practice: affirmations, but the kind you feel, not just repeat. Try saying, "I am light. I am transcending form through love." Say it while looking at yourself in the mirror, or right after waking up, when your mind is still soft and receptive. Let those words land in your chest, not just your head. Over time, your body starts believing them. That's the blueprint of the light body being rewritten, one word at a time. Movement matters too. Practices like qigong, tai chi, or heart-focused yoga aren't just nice extras. They help circulate the energetic flow around the chest, preventing stagnation. Even something as simple as placing both hands on your heart while you sway gently with music can shift your state. You don't need to be a yogi, you just need to return to your center. Often. Lovingly. Intentionally. That's how the light stays alive. And here's the secret: the more you return to the heart, the faster everything starts aligning. You'll notice more peace, fewer triggers, and stronger intuition. These aren't lucky side effects, they're the direct results of consistent inner work. So if you've been waiting for a sign to commit to your energy, your path, your expansion, this is it. Because once the heart is lit, life doesn't just feel different, it is different. So now that you know the light has always been there, in your chest, quietly waiting, the real question is, what will you do with it? Will you go back to living from the mind, reacting to life from old wounds and surface-level emotions? Or will you start returning to your heart chakra, every day, building that connection until your energy activation becomes as natural as breathing? Because here's the truth: the more you activate your light body, the less life feels like survival, and the more it feels like alignment. Like purpose. Like presence. And that shift, it's not reserved for gurus or mystics. It's available to anyone who chooses to remember who they really are. So ask yourself, if your hidden light could change the way you feel, think, love, and live, what's stopping you from turning it on today? Let me know in the comments what part of this message hit you the most, and how you're going to apply it. And hey, if this sparks something real for you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so we can keep going deeper, together.